say this calls for action, and now, nip it in the bud.
Michelle Pfeiffer? The only true Catwoman is Julie Newmar, Lee Merriweather, or Eartha Kitt. And I didn't need molded plastic to improve my physique. Pure West.
Good morning, angels.
Good morning, Charlie.
I love it when a plan comes together.
It's time. Let's talk about music, movies, and mostly television from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know, the good stuff.
Happy Sunday to one and all. Welcome to the Good Stuff Live. My name is Dave Sundstrom, and if you enjoy talking about music, movies, and especially TV, well, you've come to the right place. For those folks who haven't joined me on a weekend live stream before, they're usually a little bit different than my live streams that I do on Wednesdays, where I have guests and a specific topic. Instead, my weekend live streams, at least I'd like them to be, they're a little bit more low-key, and we'll go wherever the conversation takes us. So with that said, let me go on over to the comments section. Let's see what's going on here. Hang on one moment. Do want to get my... There we go. Good Stuff Live. Nice. And let's head on over to the comments. And Joey Piper is here. Welcome. Wow. Oh, wow. I saw this a few minutes ago when I was just scanning through some of the comments that were a little bit early. First off, welcome, Joey. But talk about terrible news. You're right. Boy, he will be missed. Ed Asner, one of the all-time greats. Of course, his big claim to fame was the character Lou Grant, both on the Mary Tyler Moore Show, as well as his own show, a drama instead of a comedy called Lou Grant, where he took that character and really they took it to places that you never expected Lou Grant to go for a number of seasons on CBS in a 1-hour drama. Rob Aiken is here, says, just looked yesterday to see who was alive from the Mary Tyler Moore Show, and now today Ed's gone. And Joey says, only Betty White now. Welcome, Lance. Good to have you here. Super fan Lance Chafin. Always good to have you on the live stream. And DJ Mexicano de Texas, what a treat to have you here on the weekend as well. Let's see. Cindy D is here. She says, so Betty White is the only one still alive from the Mary Tyler Moore Show and the Golden Girls. Yeah, that's correct. All right. Maria Q is here as well. Maria is located internationally. I'm trying to remember exactly where. Some sort of fantastic island near Greece, if I remember right. But my memory it's failing me at the moment. But great to have you here, Maria. Let's see who else is on the stream. Cindy D says that she missed the Star Trek show the other night. Not a Trekkie and never watched it. Well, it still was a great show, even if you're not a Trekkie fan, but we're happy to have you here on the weekend live stream, Cindy. We've got superfan Spike Spikerson in the house with us as well. Welcome, Spike. As always, I appreciate your support. Let's see. I'm here now. I was actually there when you made the comments, but I was getting everything set up, so I just chose to remain silent. Elfdog 100. Hello. Good to have you here as well. Let's see who else we have. Boy, that live stream just got ahead of me here. I'm going to, let's see what we got going on here. We've got a super chat from Kevin Connor. Always generous and always super supportive. Kevin Connor, I should say, from up north there in Canada, based on the little CA next to the super sticker price there. So thank you for your support, Kevin. That's really, really appreciated. What can I throw your way? I've got a new one here. Let me do this. Let me go ahead and find that new one. It's a thank you dance. A thank you dance. Hopefully you appreciate that. I appreciate you and appreciate your support.
And now it's time for a little dance, and here we go. Okay,
That's not the last we'll see of Steve Martin today, by the way. But thank you so much for your support, Kevin. Always appreciated. Super Xplex, I think he just likes to have it say Superplex. Superplex is in the house. Welcome. Good to have you here. Tracy Roth Myers, super fan Tracy Roth Myers, is here as well. Let's see. Scarlet Red Magic is in the house. Yo, yo, yo to you as well. And let's see. Raja 1938 says, wow, just barely made it. Or woo, just barely made it. Good to have you here, Raja 1938. My friend Justin is here, says 38 people. Now it's 42. Great to have you here, Justin. Really appreciated the time we spent a couple weeks ago recording that video on Three's Company, and hope folks got a chance to watch it. Justin's a fun guy to visit with. Robot B9, welcome. Good to have you here. Let's see. Hi, Tracy. Super fan Tracy Roth Myers. Let's see what else we've got. Let's see. We've got Anton Miles. Hello. Good to have you. Mal Havoc is here. Couch Potato is here. Georgia Ayers is here. The man known only as Jeff is here as well. Eric Feinberg's here. Thomas R. Skidmore. Yes. Rest in peace. Ed Asner. Butch Shump is here as well. Yeah, truly sad news. Let's see. Justin says, not being mean, but I thought Ed Asner looked 65 on the MTM show, the Mary Tyler Moore show. Yeah, he looked older. Some actors do have that, just kind of look older even when they're not. Yes, that is correct. John Amos was on the Mary Tyler Moore show, and he's still around. So that's another actor. Although, I don't know, do we consider him one of the core actors of that show? He was definitely on an awful lot. Mickey Woodcock is here as well, all the way over in the UK. Great to have you here with us. Biznicio, yeah, super sad news, but welcome to the live stream. James Bodnerchuk is here as well. And did I say super fan Biznicio? I don't think I did, but he is indeed a super fan, and thank you for your support. As long as I'm talking about super fans, you know, it is important for me to say thank you to all of those folks who are super fans. And that includes Braidwood Inn, Justin, Lisa Fields, Byron Bushnell, Lance Chafin, Tracy Roth Myers, Tom Gladstone, Gregory McLaughlin, Biznicio, Spike Spikerson, Stephen Scott, Emily Miller, Retro Serial, my friend Ian, John Collins, James Mitchell, and Superplex. How did they become super fans? Well, it's pretty darn easy, folks. They just clicked on that little join button right there that can be found next to the subscribe button on my videos. What are the perks of being a super fan? Well, truthfully, the biggest perk, and well, it's a perk for me, is the support that I get and allows me to continue to do this hobby. But there are other things. Most of my videos, they get a little bit of a sneak preview on. They also get prioritized. I make an effort to make sure I respond to those comments first of those folks who are financially supporting the channel. And then I am also, starting next month, I will be doing a members only live stream as well once a month. And that'll be fun just to get those folks together to visit. So if you are so inclined, it's not expensive, but if you're so inclined, I would appreciate it very much if you clicked on that join button, much like these fine folks. And let me see if I can come up with a thank you for them as well. I'm going to go right back to one of my favorite thank you videos that I have in my collection. The good people over on the Lawrence Welk Show.
Thank you very, very, very much.
All right, let's keep moving. What else do we have here in the chat? I see Tom, my friend, who's also known as the Hungry Jerk. Welcome. Good to have you here. James Tom Burrow. How do you become a super fan? I think I just told you. Good luck with that. Let's see. Scarlet Red Magic says, wait a minute. Who was the actress on the show Remington Steele with Pierce Brosnan? You never hear anything more about her. Oh man, what's that last name? Zemblist, Stephanie Zemblist Jr. Scarlet, or not Stephanie Zemblist is the name of the actress. I loved her. And I think she's still around. Oh, look at that. Raja 1938 probably beat me to the punch on that. Tuck Graff, good to have you here. Robert George Yokoyama breaking the news to us as well. Rob's Pippin Road. Yeah, many, many great memories. I'm going to have to put together a video in the not too distant future about Ed because I was a huge, huge fan of his work. And, even his later work. I love the movie Elf. Around holiday season, we always make an effort to see or to watch that movie at least once. And, he's Santa Claus in that movie. And he does a great job in that role. Okay, let's see what else we've got here. Carol Wagner is here. I think I've said hello to Robot B9, but I'm going to say hello again to Robot B9. And I'm going to say thank you to James Tomburo for saying that he enjoys the channel. I enjoy making the channel and putting together the videos. Let's see. Butch Shump says Ed Asner worked right until the very end. He completed work on a new Disney Plus series last year that is still in post-production. Doug Days, a continuation of Up. Is it Doug Days or Dog Days? I'm going to have to ask. And yeah, he was the voice of the main character in Up. So also some great information. Thank you, Butch. Robot Me 9 points out that Stephanie is the daughter of Ephraim Zemblist. Let's see what else we got here. Mr. 79 Man is here with us. Not sure why he says Carl Fredrickson. Probably part of another conversation that's going on in the chat that, things are just scrolling pretty darn fast for me here. So we're going to keep moving. Let's see. Yes, Elf Dog 100 is correct. Ed Asner's one of his last things he did was the voice in Up. But he's been doing a lot of things. That was, Up is what? Is it close to 10 years old? Not sure. Raja 1938 says Scarlett thinks she's still in business. Maybe Dave will do a video on her. I will do a video on her. That's one that I really would enjoy researching and putting together. Let's see what else we've got. Todd McCreary is here with us. Good to have you here. Yeah, there's an Ephraim Zemblist Jr., right? And I just wanted to throw that in there, but it's not appropriate in her case. And Tom says, finally got that big convention yesterday. Got that Dirk Benedict autograph yesterday. Well, congratulations to you. How awesome was that to be able to connect with Dirk Benedict and visit with Starbuck for even just a few minutes? Speaking of Battlestar Galactica, let me just point out that one of my upcoming videos, probably my next video will actually be on Ed Asner, but one of my upcoming videos that's actually already out there for super fans, members of the channel to view and sneak preview is this. Whatever happened to Lorette Spang? I actually did this video or a version of this video about 3.5 years ago, and it's been bugging me. I didn't like the audio on it. I didn't think all the graphics were great. And I also wanted to add some video and just polish it up a little bit. So that will be out there in the not too distant future for everybody to enjoy. And hopefully when it's uploaded for the public to view, you will all appreciate it and comment on it. So what else do we got here? Let's see what else. Scrolling through the comments. Carl Smith, welcome to the live stream. He says Ed Asner did a lot of voiceover work too. Jedi Master Rook Lamar in the Knights of the Old Republic. Carl Fredrickson, there's the comment. Yeah, that was the name of the main character in Up. J. Jonah Jameson in Spider-Man, the animated series. Superfan Lance Chafin says something that I don't think anyone will dispute, which is Linda Carter is a very, very pretty woman. I added that second very because I am in total agreement with you. Robot B9 says, I am programmed to always be polite. I am too. At least I try to be. John Young, welcome to the live stream, says Doug Days. Oh, is it Doug Days? Okay. And James Tomburo says, bring back the Dukes of Hazzard. I love the Dukes. It would be interesting to see what we would get with a new version of the Dukes of Hazzard. But what I would really like to see is some sort of program with Tom Wopat and John Schneider together again. I don't really think I would, if I had my druthers, if I could get what I asked for, if I got a wish, a television wish, it would be for those two actors to be together in a 1 hour comedy drama along the lines of, I don't know, Riptide, or one of those shows from the 80s, those where there was a crime, but there was a lot of humor as well. Yeah, that's what I'd wish for. Doug Days. Okay, the dog's name is Doug. I need to go back and watch Up again because I didn't remember the main character's name being Carl, all that kind of stuff. Raja 1938 says that Ed was in a couple of episodes of Cobra Kai playing Johnny Lawrence's stepdad. Yeah, he was a jerk in that show. Thanks for the reminder about that. Let's see. Rob's Pippin Road says, besides Mary Tyler Moore, one of my first memories of Ed was in the movie The Wrestler. I have not seen that movie, so something for me to track down and watch. Yes, Mel Havoc points out that they did bring back the Dukes of Hazzard in a movie, but it wasn't with the actors, the original actors, although there were 3, I believe, reunion movies. Did I get the right number of fingers up? 3 reunion movies. But yeah, I'd want to see Schneider and Wopat do something different. Up was in 2009, so it's more than 10 years old. Holy cow. James Tamburo says, bring back the Fall Guy. I would love to see that as well, although I don't think Lee Majors, he would have to play a different role, maybe like a mentoring stuntman kind of thing. And Robot B9 says that, unfortunately, the Dukes of Hazzard movie was terrible. Wasn't great. I don't know if I'd say terrible, but wasn't great. Let's see. Scarlet Red Magic says, loved the movie Up. I did as well, but I need to go back and watch it again because I'm missing details. I can't remember all those details. Yes, Mal Havoc says, Dirk Benedict was also known as Face Man. Yep, Face from the A-Team. Raja 1938 correctly points out that the lovely Lorette Spang was Cassiopeia in Battlestar Galactica. But Robot B9 says, not really a Galactica fan. That's cool. You know what? That's the thing I love, particularly about the decades of movie or TV shows that I talk about, and movies and music. But there's something for everyone, right? Not everyone has to like every single show that I talk about. I mostly agree with you, James, but I will say that there's a handful of shows that are still pretty good. Yes, Sandra Sanders, who's here. Lorette Spang was married to actor John McCook of soap fame. Yes, indeed. Still married to him. Has McCook passed away? If he has, oh my goodness, then my video is already out of date. I will have to go back and do a little research on that. I could never forget Marion Jensen as Athena, Adama's daughter. Great, great character. She didn't make it to the end of the first season in terms of, I don't think she had a great working relationship with producer Glenn A. Larson. He got a little bit frustrated. She didn't have a lot of acting chops. This was one of her earliest experiences in the industry beyond modeling. And as a result, her character, Athena, slowly but surely just kind of was worked out of the show. And by the time they got to mid-season, it was rare to see Athena on the show at all. All right, Zuper Xplex says Lorette Spang is living happily outside of the spotlight. Indeed, she is. Her daughter, Molly McCook, has been for the past few years on that Tim Allen show. It was on Fox, and I'm drawing a blank on it. I just did some research on it earlier today. Man, oh my goodness, I'm drawing a blank. Oh, you guys will help me out on that one. Yes, boo. Totally agree with that, James Tamburo. Betty White, and Joan Amos, if you want to add that as well. I think that's a fair addition to the survivors list. Carl Smith says, Dave mentioned that there's a lot of actors who are younger in real life than their best characters. Another example is Denver Pyle, who was in his late 40s, mid 50s and playing Uncle Jesse, who was 75. Yeah. And I mean, there's the reverse too, right? Ed Asner was also in Cobra Kai. Great. Rome Ticklin, great to have you here on the live stream. So here's the deal. I said we were going to see a little more Steve Martin today. We're going to see our next little Steve Martin clip. I'm going to call this clip, and I'm going to start incorporating these into all of my live streams. This is my movie moment of the week, or at least of this live stream. One of my favorite movies with Steve Martin is Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, which was directed by the great Frank Oz. And many of you will know that Frank Oz was also a member of Jim Henson's team, and he voiced Fozzie Bear and even more importantly, Yoda in the original Star Wars trilogy and beyond. So anyway, let's go here to the movie moment of the week.
Excuse me, may I go to the bathroom first?
Of course you may.
Thank you.
I love that scene. That character in Dirty Rotten Scoundrels just totally threw me for a loop. It's such a fun movie, and about every 3-4 years I have to go back and watch that one again. Let's see. Carl Dunn, welcome to the live stream, saying, watching your stream while racing for Ida. You're welcome. Happy to provide a distraction. I haven't heard about anything new with Erin Gray right now. I do know that she has been attending some conventions and connecting with fans that way, but that's about all the news that I have about her at the moment. Mal Havoc says Ed Asner did the voice of one of the characters in Freakazoid. That was a great cartoon. Great cartoon. And let's see, the man known only as Jeff says they could be Starsky and Hutch. I'm not sure what what we're talking about is Will Patton Snyder. That would be, a similar type show. I would totally be up for that. All right. Looking through the comments here, Sin City Jim, I don't think I've welcomed you, my friend. I like the show, Lou Grant, as well. Very different than the Mary Tyler Moore Show, but wonderful nonetheless. Let's see. Anyone else that I haven't said hello to? I know I've said hello to Couch Potato, but I'll say it again. And let's see. Oh, Carl Smith says, what I disliked about the film version of The Dukes of Hazzard was casting of Burt Reynolds as Boss Hogg. Yeah, it didn't fit. I totally agree, and I'm a big Burt Reynolds fan. Not sure who we're talking about here. Are we talking about Lorette Spang? She was on Three's Company, so that's possible. And James Bodnerchuk says, a friend of mine owns a toy store in Saskatchewan and they were at a toy convention very recently, and one of the original General Lees was there. Got a pick. Awesome. And yes, thank you, Elf Dog 100. John McCook is still around, still on The Bold and the Beautiful. It's always heartbreaking when I find out that someone has slipped away and I haven't noticed. So I'm glad he's still around and still married to Laurette. Then I haven't heard that they weren't married, so I'm going to still believe that they are still married, still together, still caring for their wonderful family. Robot B9 says, my favorite Steve Martin film is The Jerk. One of my favorites. I have a lot of Steve Martin movies that I really enjoy, not the least of which is Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, but there's other really good movies as well. A lot of those early movies, those nutty movies, The Jerk, The Man with Two Brains, The Lonely Guy, and then he started getting a little more experimental. Dead Men Wear Plaid, or Don't Wear Plaid, can't remember now. Pennies from Heaven, just so many good movies. And then even more recently, he has proven himself to be an incredibly versatile actor. The one role that I haven't enjoyed him in, I got to tell you, and I know there are probably those folks that will disagree with me on that, but I did not think, and I liked both movies, but I still will say this, I did not think that Steve Martin should have been cast as Inspector Clouseau. He's just dramatically different than Peter Sellers, and it didn't work for me. It just didn't work for me. Let's see. have I missed anybody here? Tim, good to have you with us on the live stream. I think I pretty much said hello to everyone at this point. Carl Smith says the Steve Martin you're thinking of is Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid. Yeah, correct. Thank you for that. Scarlet Red Magic says my favorite movie was The Toy. I don't remember Martin in that movie, but it was a good movie. It was a good movie. And Raja1938 says The Jerk was my favorite too. Georgia Ayers says no one can replace Peter Sellers, as does Couch Potato. And let's see. Zebras Double X says no more videos. Can't get any money that way. Oh, I've got more videos, but I don't really care. I mean, if people want to support me through Super Chat or membership or those kind of things, that's fantastic. It really keeps me motivated, helps me to pay for things like my subscription to StreamYard, which I use for streaming, all those kind of things. But that's not necessary. We'll play videos anyway. We will play videos anyway. Let's see. I want to make sure. Oh, yeah. Sandra Sanders says, don't forget My Blue Heaven. Loved it. I agree. Inspector Clouseau, not. Robot B9 says those recent Pink Panther films weren't very successful. Well, I don't remember the box office on them, but the first one must have been successful enough for them to greenlight a second one, because they made 2 Pink Panther movies with Peter Sellers, or with Steve Martin in them. Carol Wagner says so many of Steve Martin's lines have ended up in our family's lexicon. Totally agree. Just so funny. Mr. Led says, love Steve and the Man with Two Brains. He is also a very talented musician and book author. He's multi-talented, crazy good on the banjo and playing bluegrass music. And this was a movie that I was trying to, how could I forget it? But I needed to mention this one. He's phenomenal in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, as is John Candy. Mr. 79 Man says, I agree, Dave. Even though Martin is funny, Clouseau is designated to Sellers. For sure. For sure. And let's see. Oh, yeah, Shop Girl. I read that book. Steve Martin was good in Shop Girl, but it was a disturbing watching him in a love scene. Awkward, yeah. Larry Potter, welcome to the live stream. What a treat to have you here as well, my friend. And I loved. Superfan Lance Chafin points out that Steve Martin's song, King Tut. Oh, so funny. And I think I was in junior high when that came out. I loved that song. Saw him perform it. I think it was on Saturday Night Live where I first saw him perform it. Oh, yes. Another great Steve Martin movie along with Chevy Chase and Martin Short, Three Amigos. I love that movie. And that one, you know what? I think it still holds up. There are some movies from the 80s that don't hold up all that well. But for me, that one holds up quite well. Scarlet Red Magic says, I hated that movie. I thought that Peter Sellers owned the role of Inspector Clouseau. Nobody could ever come close to that. I agree. Totally agree. Sin City Jim says, King Tut, Funky Tut. Yeah, I love it. Chris Budaracos, great to have you here on the live stream. And Rome Ticklin says, Three Amigos is a funny movie. And Skip Rock Jr. says, probably the best line from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Those aren't pillows. Oh, I remember that TV special, Tom, where Steve did it was the Olympic diving competition, and Steve Martin was doing it, and the judging on it was just hilarious. That is a great skit. I'm sure it's out there on YouTube. Folks, I don't have the link for it. I don't even know with certainty that it's out there, but if it is, you should check it out. That is a great, great skit. It was from a Steve Martin TV special, if I remember correctly. My Blue Heaven with Rick Moranis, great movie. Let's see. Raja 1938 says Steve Martin's early years were so associated with SNL. He was a wild and crazy guy, but he was never an actual cast member. That's correct. He was just a guest on it numerous times. James Bodnerchuk says those classic Pink Panther movies with Peter, saw them all in the theater, side-splittingly funny indeed they were. Son of a Red Shirt, welcome to the live stream, says, the role of Inspector Clouseau has a strange attraction for many comedians. I believe Italian actor Robert Benigni, I can never pronounce that right, took a shot at it. I remember watching that one in the theater. It was Son of the Pink Panther or something like that. Ted Wass also took a shot at it as well, if I remember correctly. Saw all of the movies. And again, it just goes back to I realized they wanted to keep the franchise going, and Hollywood in the entertainment industry, they look at it as a cash cow, but really beyond Peter Sellers, it just, you can't do it. There are certain roles that can't be touched after an actor passes away, and that's one of them. All right. I don't know what this is about, but I love that movie. And, oh, by the way, hello, Benjamin Adams. It's great to have you with us on the live stream. Welcome. It's a Sunday social. That's what I'm calling this thing. Like I said, no guests, not much of an agenda. We've talked a little bit about Ed Asner passing away, and now we're talking about Steve Martin. No real agenda, though. We'll go wherever the conversation takes us for the next half hour. And I'm going to keep them short, too. My Sunday live streams are going to be short, lean and mean. No trivia today either. I'll reserve those for Wednesdays as well with my guests. All right. Yeah, Larry Potter says, just one wild and crazy guy. Well, excuse me. I can't do it. But you know what? I love that guy. Lisa Fields, super fan Lisa Fields in the house. And with, one more. Oh, first off, thank you for your support, Lisa. I truly appreciate it. Appreciate you being a super fan. Katie Dickinson says, hello, Dave Sundstrom and everyone. It's Piper. Okay. Not sure what that's about, but hello, Katie. It's great to have you on the live stream with us today. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a quick break, and we're going to watch a few commercials. Don't worry. They're not those YouTube. I was going to say crappy. I shouldn't say crappy. We'll cut that out later on. But those those commercials that YouTube makes you watch beforehand, if you don't have one of their premium memberships, these are commercials that you will want to watch. I promise.
Why are so many people drinking Diet Coke and seeing Steve Martin and Daryl Hannah's new movie, Roxanne? It's as plain as the nose on your face.
Just for the fun of it, just for the smile of it, Diet Coke, just for the cool of it, the love of it, the taste of it, Diet Coke, just for the style of it, Diet Coke, the number one of it, just for the fun of it, Roxanne and Diet Coke.
A double pleasure's waiting for you. A double pleasure from Double Mint Gum. A double great feeling, making you realize Double Mint's the one for you. Double fresh, double smooth, double delicious to chew. A double pleasure is waiting for you. Double Mint Gum. A double pleasure is waiting for you. Double Mint Gum.
Wow. All this work's making me really hungry.
McDonald's introduces Super Summer Sizes.
Laughs around the pool make me so thirsty.
Larger than large mega servings of icy Coca-Cola, golden fries, and thick milkshakes, but for a limited time only. So drive through today.
Serve it up summertime at McDonald's.
I've got to say, that whole supersizing thing got a really bad rap. There was that documentary called Super Size Me, and then all of a sudden McDonald's gets rid of supersize options. Yeah, I loved it. I loved being able to supersize. And if it meant that I had to go out and exercise a little bit more power to me and McDonald's for making that happen. So kind of sad that those went away. I liked supersizing my meals when I went to McDonald's, but that's just me. The world's changed and supersizing turned into, I guess, a little bit of a bad word or a bad phrase. All right, Carl Smith asks, All of Me was pretty good. You got to see some of his guitar playing skills, and he was great with Lily Tomlin. I agree. They were a hoot, Carl. Well said. And then Superfan, Superplex said, I think Steve Martin did a movie entitled House Sitter. Any opinions? I will share my opinion with you, Superplex, and that is that I thought it was a great movie. I love Goldie Hawn, and that's a movie I've actually seen 3 or 4 times. Really fun. The two of them together are great. They have wonderful chemistry. I can't remember who directed it. I don't remember if that was a Frank Oz directed Steve Martin film, but I really enjoyed it. That's my opinion. Let's see. Oh my goodness. David Zintara says, did you know that they brought back the supersize option? It costs 80 cents. Well, I know that I can make it large size, but maybe I just like saying supersize it. Would you like me to supersize? Yes, I would like you to supersize it. There was something in that. There was something a lot of fun about saying that. So, yeah, I know I can make them large size, and quite frankly, David, I do. So, hey, thank you so much for the super chat and the support. Let me see if I can rustle up something for you there. Let's bring the king of rock.
Thank you very much. 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 Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your support, David. It really means a lot to me. All right, let's get going here. I skipped over a bunch of comments. I wanted to make sure I got to that. Justin says the first Pink Panther movie was actually an acting vehicle for David Niven, yeah, but was handed to sellers after fans responded to his performance more. Yeah, that's right. And it was called, what was it called? It wasn't called The Pink Panther. It was called A Shot in the Dark. Supernova, welcome to the live stream, says Steve Martin is admirable. Imagine him as Lex Luthor. I can. I think he'd actually be really good in that role now. Let's see. Robot B9 says great promotional tie-in to Roxanne. It was indeed, and it certainly worked with me. I love Diet Coke, and at the time I loved Roxanne. I still like it, but I think that it's a little bit overrated these days. Mr. 79 Man says great 80s commercials, takes me back to a good time. Me as well. That's why I show them. Mr. 79 Man. Elf Dog 100 says I was a kid when those double mint gum commercials or those ads. Yeah, me too. And just the songs. There's a number of those, Juicy Fruit and Double Mint Gum. All of those songs, when you hear them again, it just everything comes flooding back, and even you kind of get these. You remember where you were sometimes when you heard those things, or I don't know. I just get flashbacks to sitting on our old couch watching our 19-inch color TV that was kind of color and kind of not for the longest time. Mal Havoc says, I remember those commercials. Custom God, welcome to the live stream. Yes, you are late, but it is still a treat to have you here, and welcome. Tyrell Bellinger, welcome to the live stream as well. He says, for me, I thought that Steve's performance as the dad in the 2003 remake and reimagining of Cheaper by the Dozen was highly overrated. I think a lot of those Steve Martin movies where they were remakes, whether it was Father of the Bride or Cheaper by the Dozen, they aren't, for me, Steve's shining moments on the silver screen, but they're paychecks. You know what movie I like with Steve Martin and just popped into my head, and I haven't seen it in a really long time, was Bowfinger with Eddie Murphy. I don't know how many of you have seen that movie, but if you haven't, go watch it tonight. Eddie Murphy is very funny in that movie, as is Steve Martin. Cindy D says, supersize me. Absolutely. Supersize me as well. Georgia Air says, Steve Martin was really super in Roxanne. I have that movie. It was a sweet movie for sure. Hungry Jerk says, the Barnstable twins did those gum commercials. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. And the Barnstable twins, of course, are known for their work in the science fiction comedy Quark. Robot B9 says, not a fan of McDonald's. Yeah, I get that. Not everybody is. I certainly appreciate McDonald's. Well, just quick story on our honeymoon. 30 years ago, we were in Cancun, did not have a ton of money with us, and found out that it was a lot more expensive to go out to eat in Mexico than we had planned for. And by the time we got to our last day, all we had was money enough to get lunch at McDonald's. And I got to tell you, that Big Mac and fries that day, probably the best tasting meal, one of the best tasting meals even to this day, that I just remember that moment. I was pretty darn hungry. We were both very hungry. We'd just been pinching pennies for a few days before that, when we realized that we didn't really have, we were young, we didn't have credit cards. We had come to Cancun on our honeymoon with cash, and that meal was fantastic. So anyway, maybe that's one of the reasons I'm a huge McDonald's fan. Don't know. I also just like junk food. Couch Potato, let's see, saying good luck trying to get a milkshake from McDonald's these days. Yeah, it seems like those machines are always broken, but I typically get a Diet Coke, so I'm okay with that. Super fan Superplex says, wasn't Brittany Daniels a double mint girl? I do not know the answer to that question. Zavarius23 said, Sergeant Bilko is my favorite Steve Martin movie. Great movie. Enjoyed it as well. Not my favorite, though. And again, those movies that are remake probably aren't on the top of my list when it comes to Steve Martin stuff. Son of a Red Shirt says, Dave Sundstrom, just heard that Ed Asner passed away. Yeah, super sad to hear. Oh, I'd forgotten. Yeah, one of his great roles was in the original miniseries Roots. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Son of a Red Shirt. Yeah, terrible, terrible news. After I get done with the live stream, I'll probably work on a video and try to get something out there later today. Braidwood Inn, Justin says, Dave, are you subliminally trying to get me to switch from Coke Zero to Diet Coke? Hey, listen, guess what I'm drinking right now? Coke Zero, dude. Coke Zero. I've got it in here. And you know what? I am slowly seeing the light. But I still call it Diet Coke. I'll probably always call it Diet Coke. That's good stuff. I've got a couple of super chats I need to address quickly, so let me scan forward. Let's see. We've already talked about that one. Thank you, David. Keep scrolling. Oh, good gravy, Mike Davis. You know what? Mike Davis is a brother from another mother. I got to tell you, this guy, I love following him on Facebook and reading his posts. Not only does he have a similar love for Batman, and in particular Batman from the classic age of television, but so we're Bat fans. But also, this guy is just a really wise feller. And like I said, I really enjoy his posts on Facebook. So Mike, thanks for popping in, and thank you for the support. Truly, truly appreciated. Let me get to one other super chat here from Larry Potter. Says, hey, do me a favor and put on Steve Martin Happy Feet as a thank you for the super chats in the future. I don't have that one right now, Larry, but I got this thank you dance from Steve Martin. I played it a little earlier, but I'm going to play it again for you, and then I'll see what I can do to track down the other one.
It's time for a little dance, and here we go.
So thank you very much, Larry. Thank you so much, Mike Davis. Truly appreciate the support on a Sunday afternoon. All right, let me scroll back up here if I can. Don't know what this is about, but super fan Lance Chafin says Hubba Bubba Gum. You know what? I love Hubba Bubba Gum, and I loved the commercials. Sin City Jim says Heather Menzies and Logan's Run was nice eye candy. Beautiful lady. The 80s were the era of the Heathers, right? You had Heather Menzies, and you had Heather Thomas in The Fall Guy, and of course Heather Locklear from T.J. Hooker and Dynasty. Great shows. Superxplex Superfan Superplex says it was all that touring that killed Elvis. He did more than 200 shows a year. That's a lot of touring. It's hard. The road can be hard. Let's see. Mike Davis had another comment in here. He said, hey, Dave, wow, Ed Asner passed away. So sorry to hear that. Loved him in the Mary Tyler Moore Show and Lou Grant. He also did the voice of Granny Goodness in Superman, the animated series. Didn't he also have a voice in Batman, the animated series, Boss something or other? Oh, I'm drawing a blank. He was in the episodes with Clayface. I'm pretty sure Ed Asner had a role in that as well. I just can't remember. Was it Rupert Thorne? I think he might have been the voice of Rupert Thorne. Mr. 79 Man says Martin was in the remake Out of Towners. Never seen it because I like the original. I like the original as well, and I must confess I've never seen it as well. And that is another one with Goldie Hawn, right? Let's see what else we've got here. Bowfinger was good. I'm glad you agree, Raja. 1938. It's a fun movie. A fun movie. Terrell, what do you think about John Amos? Would we capture? A lot of folks have mentioned him. He was on the show enough that I would consider him a regular cast member as well. Go or grab it. Find a way to watch Bowfinger. You won't be disappointed. It's a lot of fun, Katie. Let's see. Sakina McMurrin, welcome to the live stream. Says, I remember the Double Mint commercials back in the 70s. Let's see what else we got. Custom God says, my favorite thing ever by Steve Martin is the song and video King Tut. Good stuff. Superplex says, Mal Havoc, the Pink Panther, A Shot in the Dark, and the third was Inspector Clouseau with Alan Arkin. That's right, in the title role. Again, it wasn't his. That role belonged to Sellers. David Thomas, welcome, says, I remember Quark. Robot B9 says, I've never really eaten anything at McDonald's. Well, it's not gourmet food. If you're hoping that I'll convince you that it's gourmet food, it's not. So you go in. The thing that I love about McDonald's, one more thing as I talk about McDonald's, and it's, it is what it is. It's fast food. But their ability to consistently provide a product, say a Big Mac, from Salt Lake City, Utah, going to visit my friend Mike in California, and then heading over across the country and hanging out in, the East Coast. And I travel sometimes to Boston for work. It's always the same. The food tastes the same. And that for me is, that's a check in the pro columns as I'm creating my pro and con list for eating at McDonald's. Todd McCreary says, the best I can say about Steve Martin versus Peter Sellers is that Peter Sellers is like watching Jeopardy with Art Fleming and Steve is the current one. Yeah. I'm curious what you guys think about the whole Jeopardy controversy and who you would like to see as the host of Jeopardy. There are a lot of people have been considered. Ken Jennings is a guy that I've been a fan of over the years, but rumor has it there were some tweets that kind of knocked him out of contention. There's LeVar Burton as well. There's a number of names that I've seen bandied about now that the guy that they'd selected along with Mayim Bialik has taken himself out of the consideration due to some comments that he made on a podcast. All right. Anyway, Sakina McMurrin says Steve Martin was hysterical in the movie The Jerk. Totally agree. And let's see. Lance Chafin says Chicken McNuggets came out in 1983. Fact of the day. A wonderful year then because I love the Chicken McNuggets, especially when I can have some Szechuan sauce. That's not always available, but the Szechuan sauce is fantastic. It's like eating a little bit of Chinese food at McDonald's. Mal Havoc says the quarter pounder with cheese is pretty darn good. I would agree. It's a great sandwich. And let's see. Sanders says when McDonald's was really Mickey D's. Love it. And Skip Rock Jr., I totally agree. I don't know how they do it, but the mix at McDonald's with their Diet Coke, Coke Zero, or Coke is just really phenomenal. It's the best. James Boddenchuck says, that's an awesome tale of your honeymoon. Well, thank you for listening. I know I kind of have a captive audience, but it was a special memory for me. And I think I've mentioned to some of you, we just actually got back from Cancun. We celebrated our 30th wedding anniversary and took the family this time to Cancun. We went to an all-inclusive resort this time. And so we didn't worry about eating at any point. As a matter of fact, the only worry we had was about overeating. But yeah, great memories. Lance Chafin, I've already told you that. Super fan Lance Chafin. My favorite sauce is the Szechuan sauce, but I don't mind the honey mustard when Szechuan is not available. Sakina, thank you so much for your kind words about my voice. I don't know. It's a voice. But I appreciate it when people say that they enjoy it, particularly when on the narration of my videos, the ones where I really try to, make that narration on those videos when it's a whatever happened to or remembering video. I work at that. It's, my voice is a little different there than it is here on the live streams, and that's purposeful. And when people say they appreciate it, they find it soothing, comforting, just something that kind of takes them back and creates a nostalgic mood for them. That means the world to me when I hear that. Yeah, Robot B9 points out that Sergeant Bilko was based on a TV show. Indeed, it was. Superplex, super fan, Superplex. You and me both, buddy. Whenever the McRib comes around, I usually get at least one. I never miss an opportunity to get a McRib when it's available. David Thomas says, now, I worked at Mickey D's in the 80s and it took me a while to eat there after I quit. I totally understand. I worked at a pizza joint here in Utah called Robintino's. It's still around in the Bountiful, and I think there might be one in Salt Lake City area. And I loved that pizza, but then I ended up working there for over a year during, a little bit during school, but then during the summertime a lot. And one of the things they did was they gave us free food while we were working there. And I had the hardest time really enjoying that food afterwards. It just took a really long time for me to be able to go back and be excited about eating at Robintino's, which is a marvelous pizza place. If you're ever in Utah, check it out. It's great. Let's see what else we have here. Anyone else remember Ed Asner and Rich Man, Poor Man? I do. I've only seen that miniseries once, and it was many, many years ago. Terrell Bellinger says, I always love going to McDonald's for a Big Mac and a nice chicken nuggets. You can't beat the McNuggets. One question, do you remember the McDLT commercial with a pre-Seinfeld Jason Alexander? I certainly do. It's here on YouTube. You can watch it if you guys track it down. And I will include it in the commercial portion of the live stream in a future live stream. That's a little bit redundant, but I will include it. I will track it down because that's a fun video. Does Jason have hair in that video? He might have a little bit of hair, if I remember correctly. Sandra Sanders says Coke Zero rocks. Indeed it does, as does Mountain Dew. I enjoy a good Mountain Dew. I go with the Mountain Dew Zero, Spike Spikerson, super fan Spike Spikerson, but I enjoy that as well. Mike Davis, thank you so much for the kind words, your support. Truly appreciated. Thank you, my friend. Nancy D says water or coffee. That's probably a healthier way to go. And superfan Tracy Rothmeyer says, my heart is broken about Ed Asner. Mine as well. What a great actor throughout the decades, right? I've grown up with Ed Asner. He's always seemed like an old dude to me, but what a wonderful actor. Let's see. Butch Shump says they need to bottle and can grape Sprite Zero. Would buy it by the caseloads. I didn't even know that existed. Is that something you get from one of those freestyle machines? Mal Havoc says Ed Asner played an abusive father who beat up his kid until the kid grew up to be Nick Nolte and started hitting back. Yeah. Superplex, superfan Superplex says, I think Ed Asner was on Roots. He was indeed. Heather Menzies did indeed die too young, as did her husband, Dan Tana, Robert Urich. What in the world? Only 14 likes. Come on, people. Give this video, give this live stream a thumbs up. Hit that like button. Danny Staten is in the house. Always excited to see Danny show up on the live stream. And Danny is working on a video on his Daily Damn blog channel, I believe, where he's going to be reviewing a David Cassidy comic book from the 60s. And I am super excited to watch that one, Danny. So get going, buddy. Robot B9 says, didn't Elvis have substance abuse problems? Well, I think he did. I don't know, most entertainers from that era had some sort of, well, that's an incorrect statement. But I think the answer to that question is yes. Mike Davis says Steve Martin's 1978 album, Wild and Crazy Guy album. I absolutely loved it. I had every joke memorized along with the late Robin Williams' Reality. What a concept. Yeah, that's a great album too. Yes, Benjamin Adams says Steve Martin was the dentist in The Little Shop of Horrors. Yeah, wonderful, wonderful movie. Steve Martin's great as a masochistic dentist. And he loved the song. I'm a dentist. It's just really great. And Bill Murray's all excited to get in that dentist chair. Fun movie. Let's see. We've got another super chat here from, let me scroll down here, make sure I get it, from Superfan David Zentara, who says, do you remember Ed Asner hosting Saturday Night Live around 84? To be truthful, I don't remember that episode or that Saturday Night Live. You can call it an episode. I'm trying to think what he would have been promoting around 84, why he would have been there. Maybe you can fill us in a little bit on that. But David, once again, thank you for your support. Let me see what I can drum up for you here, my friend. How about a little Robin Williams?
Grazie, gracias, danke, merci, spasibo, arigato gozaimasu.
Here we go. All right. Let's see. David Thomas says, do people know that Steve Martin worked at Disneyland? I didn't know that, so I'm not sure if they did or not. But yeah, that's great information. Thank you for sharing. David Zantara says, in a sketch, he played a supervisor in a nuclear power plant. So this is going back to Saturday Night Live, who says, you can't put too much water in a nuclear reactor. Faith, welcome to the live stream. I've read Cruel Shoes. I enjoyed the book immensely. Read it when I was in junior high. Let's see. Algama1. Hello, Dave. I love your passion for TV and nostalgia and warmth via your videos. Thank you so much. Appreciate the kind comment, and welcome to the live stream. We're just wrapping it up. I've got about 5 minutes left before I call it a day on this live stream, which, by the way, my Sunday live streams are going to be going forward. They're going to be less organized, if I can use that word, than my Wednesday midweek live streams. They usually have a guest or two. We usually play some trivia. They just are more structured. That's the word that I was looking for. Whereas the weekend live streams, I'm thinking of them as Sunday socials. They're a chance for me to visit with everybody, say hello, connect. We get to talk about whatever the heck we want to talk about. We'll just let the conversation take us. All right, and that's what we've done today. Raja 1938 says, David Thomas, yes, I think Steve Martin worked in a magic shop there in Disneyland is what he's talking about. And I don't really know the details around this, but Lamont Bradford, welcome to the live stream. Always great to see you here. He says, I hate Taco Bell for buying out Pup and Taco. I don't know what Pup and Taco is, but I actually kind of like Taco Bell. It's not great food again, but I kind of like the Taco Bell. Robot B9 says nobody played a better Mork from Ork like Robin Williams. Totally agree with that. Larry Potter says, you know, Dave, I'd love to watch another TV show with you. You know what? We'll do a watch party in the not too distant future. I've got to figure out what to show. I want it to be something that everybody will enjoy, but we will definitely do that again. Superplex, Superfan Superplex says this is always great. Well, thank you so much. It's great to have you here as well. Lance Chafin says, okay, everyone, I'm out. Have a good weekend ahead. Bye to all the ladies. Faith Casillo says, I just watched the Oh Captain, My Captain film clip. Yeah, that one from, oh my goodness, I'm drawing a blank of the Robin Williams movie. Anyway, it's a great scene. Isn't it so frustrating when you can't remember the name of a show and a movie that is so famous? Dead Poets Society. Skip Rock Jr. says, Chris Budaracos, what about too many Fool's Gold sandwiches? They were whole loaves of bread cut down the side with an entire jar of peanut butter, an entire jar of jelly, and a pound of bacon. I don't know what you're talking about there, Skip Rock Jr., but that's awesome sounding. I need more details. Mike Davis says, James Bodnerchuk. Yep, part of my growing up years in the 70s. Mr. Ladd says, Dave, what are the figures on your wall? There are lots of things back there. There's a couple Beanie Babies just right over my shoulder there, and those are my mother's. She was a big Beanie Baby collector. She passed away about a year and a half ago, and so I've got a couple of them up there. I'm going to switch around. She had a huge collection, and truthfully, they don't have a ton of value. She thought someday they might pay for college for my kids, but they have a lot of sentimental value to me. So every once in a while, you're going to see those swapped out with different Beanie Babies. And that's a way for me to acknowledge, remember, and say I love you to my mother. Let's see. David last name says, hi, anyone remember a TV series in the early 70s where one of the episodes, a couple of the main characters went into the future while milk was a luxury as the pollution limited cows? I don't remember that at all. I do not remember that at all. Butch Shump says Steve Martin worked at the Disneyland Magic Shop. A picture of him hangs there, and he mentions it in the opening of the 50th anniversary movie that can be seen on YouTube. Awesome. Hey, it's Steve Tevis. Great to have you here. Hello and goodbye. Tracy, superfan Tracy Roth-Myers, thank you so much for joining us today. Chris Budaraco says, good stream, Dave. Try no sugar and with root beer. Oh, A&W root beer. I will give it a try. Thanks for the suggestion, Rome Ticklin. Great to have you here. Yeah, thanks for all the help, folks. It took me a minute to remember Dead Poets Society. It's terrible when you get those brain cramps. All right. Folks, I think that is it. I'm going to call it a day. So thank you so much for joining me for this Sunday social live stream, and I look forward to visiting with you all in the future. I will definitely schedule a live stream for midweek, and we'll have guests. I'm not sure the topic yet, but we'll figure it out as we get a little closer to the middle of the week. All right, with that, so long, and thank you all for your support and your just incredible engagement over the course of this last hour. Take care. Have a great remainder of the weekend, folks.